All right, and welcome everybody to this week's edition of Park Bench. We're here with Dave at the Whealth Kitchen in Journal Square, and we're going to ask a couple questions about the business here. What made you decide to open the Whealth Kitchen?
With the idea that community is really an important thing. So I've always either when I was a touring musician or I was working in hospitality, I loved creating that that vibe that when you go into a great place.
Definitely.
Because I can change your day. I was born here in Jersey City, left when I was really young and moved back about 12, 13 years ago. And as it was coming back up, I just started a company. It was always about building a sense of community, and I happened to stumble upon the gentleman who's the architect of this building. And
So that's how you got started. You ran into the architect of the building.
yeah, I was giving a talk in the city on the future of food randomly, and he came up to me at the end and was like, "Hey, you want to open?"
So you were giving a talk in New York?
Yeah.
How did that come about?
Just through this for lack of a better sense, a think tank kind of that I belong to. The conversation that I was leading and my points were about hyper localism.
Okay.
So really just knowing people. So my whole thing with food has always just been about community and gathering around the table and the effects that being a member of a community has on some. It's the people, farm to table to me is not a, yes, it is about trying to eat the best stuff that you can, and you get really good ingredients, and you just try not to get in their way, and that goes a long way. But it's the farmers and these great stories when you go to a farm and you're talking to some 86-year-old woman who's a fifth generation dairy farmer that's just been doing these 5 cheeses for these 50, 60 years. There's just such great, rich history in all of that. But the organic movement is a really interesting thing. I have gloves on there and stuff.
That's all right. You're working.
The organic movement is it's interesting. It's something that I feel very much comes in waves. Right now, regenerative agriculture is this big thing and this big movement. But if you talk Guy Jones at Blooming Hill about regenerative agriculture, he's that's just agriculture.
Got it.
So very much in that sense of
this is
organic
how
food
we used to just
is
call it.
That's how.
Yeah, we just used to call that getting dinner. Yeah. They say macrobiotic. You should kind of eat what's regional and what's seasonal.
Yeah, if you think about it, you're I'm gonna get tomatoes in the winter. Well, they're 3 to 4 weeks. The second you pick a vegetable, the nutrient content starts to degrade. So if you're harvesting stuff in the morning and then bringing it to someone at night or the next day or even within a week, you've still got a week or two on the normal food chain. Even if I bought if I bought a case of organic kale now, it might come from Jersey this time of year, but typically a lot of the year it comes from California. Well, when do you think that was picked? A week and a half ago.
Possibly have the nutritional value that something that
absolutely
taken the last 3 days would.
Yeah, and that's where the debate of organic versus local versus all these. It's organic might not necessarily mean be what you want.
Fresh.
You might just want local, and maybe it's just as good as organic, but the guy doesn't have the 30,000 to
get that certification. The local refers to more than just the food itself, but the people as well, the community.
And it's more what it's about for us at least.
And what do you think? Why do you think it's important to focus on the local aspect with food and community? And because it is a big movement. I mean, I have a pin that says "shop local." It's a thing.
I just think we're wrapped in a lot of bullshit nowadays. And it'd be really good if you actually knew. This is what I think about. This is how the world works. This look at this thing, seal wrap. It's but this packaging, you're oh, this must be
natural,
biodegradable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's really important to actually know the people and what they're putting in your food and how they're cooking it and what they're doing.
So in running a business, you keep all those factors in mind and helping local farmers. That's that treats their employees fairly and that delivers good product with good service. It's right here. So all the hard work's done for you pretty much. Tell us now also just a little bit more about what you sell here. We know that it's local, we know that it's fair trade, but what else and what's the easiest way to get here?
I mean, we're on top of the path station, so probably
that's important.
We're on top of the Journal Square path, so either a PATH train or a bus will get you here pretty easily.
Yeah.
We're
So-
open 7 days, 8 to 2. We serve really strong coffee,
Sweet.
gluten-free baked goods, gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods that we make all in-house here. We bake fresh scones and muffins every morning, and then there's a host of other baked goods that have a longer shelf life that are just always out and
Sweet.
stocked up. And then we stock our fridge with grab and go, and then there's like a freezer with like steaks and chickens and pork and ground beef.
So you can do prepared foods as well for takeout.
We also run like a meal delivery service. We deliver anywhere within an hour and a half of Jersey City. Our menu changes every single week. You can get a la carte. You can sign up for a plan. There's a bunch of different options.
And all that will be updated on your website. So for more information, you can visit the
Come
website.
go to whealthkitchen.com. Follow us on Instagram,
Facebook,
and
all
shoot
that
us a
good
DM
stuff.
inside. Let's Zuckerberg.
But do come and see us here at Whealth Kitchen. Say hi to Dave. Grab some food and support local.
Love to see you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Cool.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
awesome.